Hey, you guys. It's your girl, Drea. I'm back at it again. I am revamping my podcast. This is the Remember When podcast. This will be a podcast to put you in a mind state of remember when God did it before. Remember when God pulled you out. Remember when he put that ram in the bush, when they tried to count you out. When they tried to set a trap for you, a snare for you that they fell in themselves. Y'all remember when that happened to you along the way, or while that is happening for you now, and God just reassure you like, okay, I got your back. I got your back. That's what this podcast is. Kick off your shoes. You're in for a ride on the realest, chill, relatable podcast with the right heart. Are we perfect? No. Just like I say on my page, we're not perfect, but when our hearts are right, God is for us. He will always come through when nobody else thinks he's going to come through. When people think they can pull the wool over your eyes, guess what? God going to come through. He's did it before. He's going to do it again and again and again and again and again. So you guys, sit back and enjoy the Remember When podcast. Today's topic is remembering when they have a plot to make you look bad and not help you. Remember God watching their every action. So my scenario is from years ago. I want to share a scenario with you guys. I was at a place about 7 years ago, about a little bit more than that. I keep forgetting I'm 3 decades old. So about a little over a decade, maybe a decade and a half ago, I was at a place where I had to prepare for a huge project, y'all. Just come take a trip in the time capsule with your girl Dree. I was preparing for a huge project about a decade and a half ago. Okay? And I had other people on my team that were supposed to be collaborating with me. Okay? Some of y'all gonna relate to this. And every time I would try to collaborate with them, guess what they would do? I'm busy. We're gonna connect at this time. So then I took on the hat of, okay, if I don't do it, like how that lady said, if God don't do it, it just won't get done. I said, if I don't do it, and I'm not God, if I don't do it, it won't get done. So let me work on this. And maybe I can bring the idea to the table, and then we can collaborate, and then we can, make it do what it do. Never happened. I wore the hats on doing the project my way. And I noticed that in the same breath, the same people that were supposed to be on my team collaborating with me were collaborating with others, getting other projects done around me. Who can relate to that? They don't want to work with you, but they working with each other. Okay? Look, I see you, you see me, we see each other. And so that's what happened to me. That's what happened to me. And so I was like, I see it. I'm just going to ignore. And in your heart, especially if you got discernment, if you pray for discernment, God will bring you dreams and he'll just lay it right there before you. And so he was laying it before me that they're not going to work with you. They actually don't want to work with you. They want to see what you can do. And this is my discerning spirit. I always question it, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay? Rewind. Skirt. Look, put it in reverse, Terry. So I'm sitting here thinking, discerning spirit telling me, well, it looks as if they want to see what you going to do and see you basically face plant so they can talk even more, even though they supposed to collaborate with you. Like, so they can talk about you even more than they already have. But I always, me, I'm always like, well, no, I ain't right about everything, because I own that. I'm always the owner of, I'm not right about everything. So I was like, God forbid, if I'm wrong about these thoughts, please forgive me. I have no problem with standing 10 toes down on, I was wrong. So I said, I'm going to go on with it. I was stressed out. I would tell God, God, I don't want to do this. God, you know I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Please help me. Work with me. Walk with me. And you know how you have them moments where you feel, God listening, but you like, oh my God, God, are you listening? I'm like, are you listening? I can't be the only one. If you do that sometimes, please let me know. And also, if you question your discernment when you know you always on point, because you don't want to feel like you think you know everything, but discerning spirit always tells you everything, please feel free to comment in the comment sections, because I know I'm not alone. I said sections like I got a bunch of comment sections. Comment section. Okay, so going forward, that's what my discerning spirit told me. And so I neglected to say this as well. So I noticed that when higher ups would come around, they would parade each other around. That's why the discernment was telling me that they want you to faceplay. They would parade each other around the higher ups, but they would put me in the background. So I was like, Neo, singing in the background. He did not say that. Martin said, well, Pam said singing in the background. Anyway, so they would put me in the background. I'm like, dang, they must not want me to be seen. And I always wondered why. And I never, collaborated with the higher ups. I never had any kind of collaboration with the higher ups. They all did. I never did. And so I ain't think nothing of it, because, I let my work speak for me. So let me tell you something. When the project became due, y'all, we going back to the project, y'all. We going back to the projects. The project. Okay, yeah. We going back to the project. And so when the project came due, the people that I was supposed to collaborate with was watching it and was hoping that it would unfold and unravel for me to faceplant. It did not. It did not. Rather, what happened was the higher ups was coming to observe the project. And lo and behold, the higher up came up and conversed with me, even though I had not conversed with these higher ups ever. Because I was singing in the background. And so it was a pleasant conversing with the higher up. And one of my, I would say, adversaries looked uncomfortable. The energy I got from my higher ups was not what I thought it was going to be. But it was very down to earth and understanding and collaborative. Rewind, what I was not getting in that environment at that time. Was it a decade and a half ago? So when I noticed that the collaborator, the collaborator was feeling uncomfortable, I said, that's what it was. And I had a couple of other collaborators that were looking like, oh my goodness, she's talking to the higher up. And it was good energy. So I was like, not only did I not get critiqued the way I thought I was going to get critiqued amongst the collaborators, I got kudos. But I got one critique, I did. But it's not what I thought it was going to be. And all that time I was hidden in the background, singing in the background, and worried about doing this on my own when I had no help. I ended up getting help from the higher up. The higher up of the project. And all that time I was praying to God, telling him, I really don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Let's go back to the beginning. I didn't want to do it. I was doing it on my own. And I felt so by myself doing it. I was stressed out about doing it. It was a lot to do. All of that went out the window. I said, God, that interaction happened because of you. It was no way of me knowing I would be talking to a higher up, because I had been so hidden in the background. I thought it was not going to work out because I had no help. I thought I had no help, y'all. And the whole time God was like, what this girl worrying her head off for? I told you to trust me. And when it was all said and done, y'all, my reassurance in God and him watching out for me and him covering me and him hearing every word that I prayed, almost in tears. I was stressed. For what? I don't know, because God always come through. It enveloped me in comfort and peace, in knowing, don't worry. I know you're human, but don't worry. Once you lay it at my throne, you lay it at my feet. Your problems are above you, but beneath my feet. That's what it said. And guess what? Once you do that, you ain't got to worry about it no more. You good. You know you good in my book. Act like you good in my book. That's me thinking how the Holy Spirit may be talking to me. And he could be talking to you. So that's my scenario. My first question is, who has ever been in that kind of scenario? I'm pretty sure you're going to be commenting as you're listening. Who has ever been in that scenario before? The next point I want to make is, I went to God in frustration. My human fleshly frustration, which I know for a fact, and that was a tongue twister. I tried to skip over that. I don't know if I said frustration or frustration. I meant to say frustration. I know for a fact I'm not the only one, first of all, that goes to God in frustration. We're human. That's why I said this is the realest podcast. Because I want you to know you're not by yourself. This is raw and uncut Drea giving you some scenarios for myself to relate to you. It's not me throwing my belief at you. It's me throwing my scenarios at you and telling you how it works out. I went to God in frustration. Every time I remember exactly as if it happened yesterday, guess what? I went to him, knots in my stomach, could not sleep, dreaming about this project, could not sleep, saying, Jesus, do something. I can't do it. Jesus, do something. I cannot do it. Me literally in my closet, laying on my back, hands in the air, tears flowing down my eyes. I have no help. I have no help. I know you're helping me, but physically in this world, nobody's helping me on this project when they should. I don't have my support system. And you don't need a system, y'all. You don't need a system. You don't need a system. I don't know how many times I gotta say. I feel like I gotta say it again. You don't need a system. He is the system. You don't need you don't need a bunch of wheels grinding around you. When you pray, his system get to work and he cover you. He gonna pull that ram out the bush. Guess what? My ram was that higher up. Little did I know. It wasn't just my collaborators. It wasn't anybody on my eye level. It wasn't surface level. It was a higher up of the project that noticed me. Okay? I can't make this up. There's no way in my human eyes, in my mind, would I think that it would be possible for a higher up to notice me when I'm struggling and don't want to do this alone and don't have the support system, everybody pushing me in the background, and the higher up noticed me. But I got more to this story. I'll stop there. The twist of the story, as if you have not already got it, I joke about this on my YouTube page, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe to your girl channel. I have a lot of good gems on there, old videos and new. Check me out. Play all my playlists, okay? Just browse on my YouTube channel. This is sidebar, so many different videos, but this is just one component of this podcast. If you like this podcast, I guarantee you will like my YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe for your girl. Push me out into the algorithm. Share my videos, okay? Thank you so much. But I joke on there and I say he's a fifth quarter guy. It's not really a joke. It's me and God's inside joke, but I tell you guys, I joke to God about it. He, has 4 quarters to any kind of sports game. Guess what happens? First quarter passed by, I'm like, okay, I'm good. Second quarter, I'm like, okay, well, I see an obstacle probably coming up, but I'm still good. Third quarter, I'm like, okay, this obstacle here, whoa, let's see what's on the other end. At the other end, I'm like, whoa, okay, now, God. Now, I done tripped down this hill and scrape my knees up. What we finna do? And once I get to the very tip peak It's not the peak, it's the bottom of the hill, but I'm saying the peak just to give you an idea. He rolls me over. I roll over like I'm stop, dropping, and rolling. And guess what? He stands me back up. That's my fifth quarter. Every time when I feel like the hope is almost lost, I never get to losing it. When I get that close, he pulls on through. It's like he's like, I told you to trust on me. Trust in me. Hold on to me. Hold on to me. I always come through. You need to stand firm in it. And that's what I'm learning to do at this point. So he's not only is he the fifth quarter God, that's the twist to the story. He put a ram in the bush with an interaction. I was surprised because I was hidden. And you may be surprised, whoever listening, you may be surprised because you're hidden. You don't think somebody, how you see the quotes on social media, because social media is so rampant these days, where it's like, when you're hidden and your name is in rooms that you have not entered. People are discussing you because they've seen you. It is true. It happened to me. That's this story. It happened to me. Your names are in rooms that you have not even stepped into yet. And there's people talking about you that you do not know. And in a good way. They see that spirit in you. They might hide you in the background. Nobody hides baby in the corner from that movie. But guess what? They can't hide you. They hide your physical body. Nobody can hide your spirit. When somebody see your spirit, baby, that's the twist. The ram in the bush. Your spirit speak louder than any word that you can say. Okay. Sorry, I got really passionate. Hopefully it don't sound like I'm yelling. But the last point I want to make is, make sure you remember to take it to God. Take it to God and leave it there on the throne, because he hear you the first time. Don't go rambling on. Don't try to stay in your prayer closet on your knees. That's what I'm learning. And fill in the spaces with words. Just be honest with God. Tell him, God, that's all I had to pray right now. I even tell him, look, God, and this is another conversation for another time. I'm like, God, right now I'm trying to make up words for the space. I prayed what I needed to pray. I need to get it off my mind. Please allow me to sleep. And that's it, y'all. That's it. This is the Remember When podcast. Today's episode is, remember when they have a plot to make you look bad and not help you, guess what? God has a ram in the bush. Are we perfect? No. But when our hearts are right and God is for us, it's nothing nobody can do about it. I love you guys. I will see y'all back in another podcast. I really hope y'all like this episode. This is the pilot episode to the Remember When podcast. I will see y'all back in another one. Bye. Love you.